friends, welcome to another episode of Live Chatting with Indian Temples. In our mythology, there are two things, one is Mithya and one is Satya. Mithya is something that is relative truth. You may believe in it, you may believe it, you may not believe in it. My Satya cannot be your Satya cannot be my Satya. That is Mithya. And another thing is ultimate truth, something that you cannot deny. Even if you accept it or not, you cannot deny it. So one such Satya is that LGBTQ finds reference in all over the mythology. You cannot deny it even if you like it or not. So on this topic, today I have requested Harish Iyer. Harish is an equal right activist. He engages in advocacy for a number of causes that include LGBT rights, children rights, women rights, animal rights, and he is specially working for survivors of child sexual abuse. In August 2008, National Human Rights Commission has appointed him as core group member on the LGBTI issues. In fact, his life has also inspired some movies like the movie I Am or the movie Amen were inspired by his life. There is a book called The Bad Touch written by Payal Shah Karwa. It also has references to, it is also inspired by Harish's life, and is also currently writing an autobiography, and Amazon's Westland publication has signed him up for this autobiography. Harish regularly writes columns in different newspapers, different media outlets such as First Post, The Quint, DNA, and many more. You may have seen him in many news debates. You may have seen him in the program Satyamev Jayate. You may have seen his read his blog. You may have read his videos, seen his videos in TED Talk or in many other places. He is currently the head of diversity, equity, and inclusion at Axis Bank. So, welcome, Harish. It's really a privilege to have you on this show.
My good honor. Thank you so much.
So, talking about LGBTQ, it was supposed to be a controversial topic a few years ago, but right now we can see that India is opening up. Indian citizens are opening up to the topic. They are openly discussing it. They are openly accepting it. So, do you find this change positive?
Firstly, thank you, Dinesh. I think it's important to have this conversation, and thank you for for spreading your horizon beyond. While temples and mythology is important, what is also important is the fact that the stories behind it are equally important. So one of the things that I want to tell you is that yes, it's a welcome stance that people are opening up to the idea. Um, in fact, it's a welcoming stance that people are becoming more Indianized.
Yeah.
Okay, because what the Indian ethos never really discriminated against LGBTQ people. Especially speaking about Hinduism, we I for the practitioners of Hinduism, I'd like to say that Hinduism has actually been there are many references to homosexuality in Hinduism, so it's never considered to be something that was blasphemous or, in fact, the section 377 is a British it came from Britain when they started when Britishers started ruling us,
Okay.
and it has references to the act, the Buggery Act, which was which came from King George many years ago, King George the Fourth. The Buggery Act, which basically has references to Sodom and Gomorrah, who find references in the Christian mythology. Okay,
Okay.
so for us till now, especially people who consider themselves Virat Hindus and they have been opposing homosexuality. The truth is that you are actually adopting an anglicized version and thinking that that is Indian culture. That is not Indian culture. That is British culture. Indian culture is the culture of plurality where we accept people irrespective of their gender, irrespective of their sexuality. Um, and Indian culture is so, and because Indian culture, which stands through the constitution, is so, and definitely Hindu culture is also so, where we do accept people for who they are, uh, without any discrimination.
Exactly, like Devdutt Patnaik often tells in his sessions that Indian mythology or the Indian epics have always been acceptive of everything. It was a reflection of the society at that time. And if you read Mahabharata, if you read Ramayana, they have references to various aspects of life. So we can't, of course, talk about all the aspects right now because we are limited of time. But I would like to know from you what are the references of LGBTQ community in the epics or in the Mahabharata or other Indian other Hindu books.
Well, I can give you some references. I'm definitely not a scholar, but I should point out, since you named Devdutt Patnaik, I should point out that I had a impleadment application in the Supreme Court on Section 377, against Section
Okay.
377, and Devdutt helped us with a lot of references because my thing was about the fact that it did have references in Hindu mythology, and Devdutt had helped us with a lot of references. Um, uh, Mugdha Pandey and Mahesh Jethmalani were the people who fought my case, and we had an impleadment application. Devdutt Patnaik was one who supplied us, helped us with all the references that are. So I will share some. One of course is the fact that Lord Ayyappa, Lord Ayyappa is the son of Shiva and Mohini. Okay, now
Okay.
so so one of the things that happened was when you speak about Mohini Avatar, which
Yeah.
is which is one of Vishnu's avatar, is that uh, Mohini took the form, Vishnu took the form of Mohini to entice Mahishasur, because of Bhasmasur, sorry. So
Bhasmasur.
Bhasmasur
Yeah.
was next, where he basically touches anyone on their head and वो भस्म हो जाते हैं. So they turn to ashes. So Shiva grants them the wish, and Bhasmasur runs behind Shiva himself to keep his hand over Shiva, ताकि Shiva भस्म हो जाए. So, so Vishnu sees that and he says that, dude, we need to do something about this. So he lands up over there, and he thought that okay, he can entice, considering that Bhasmasur probably was heterosexual. He thought that he will dress as a woman and entice Bhasmasur as a woman. So he dresses up. He takes Mohini avatar and some dance movements. And while he's doing dance movements, and he says that I will do some dance movements and you'll have to repeat them. So dance movements में एक movement होता है जहाँ पे Mohini keeps her hand on top of her head and Bhasmasur also, and वो भस्म हो जाता है. So that's the whole story of Mohini trying to save Lord Shiva. But then what happens is Lord Shiva and Mohini together have a child, and that is Lord Ayyappa.
Okay.
Okay. So if you really go to see that, so one could say, नहीं नहीं वो तो अवतार था, okay. But then we also say कि यार भगवान को तो सब मालूम होता है, right? If gods know everything, then even if it was an avatar, Shiva would have known that it is Vishnu who is coming as
Right.
Mohini, right?
Right.
So
Right.
so they both I don't know what immaculate conception they had, but they did bear a child together, right?
Okay.
So there is reference to Mohini over there. Also, there's another reference to Mohini when you speak about the tale of Aravan and Aravani. Okay, again, it was Krishna, which is which is Vishnu's avatar himself, who dress. So Aravan is this Iravan, he's called in South, is this person who wanted to sacrifice himself uh, for the victory of Pandavas in the
Okay.
battle of Kurukshetra. So what he does is, so he says that, okay, I want to sacrifice myself, but I
Hmm.
want to get, but before I sacrifice myself tomorrow for the victory of Pandavas, I want to get married. That's my एक दिल की ख्वाहिश यही है कि मेरी शादी हो जाए.
Okay.
So what really happens is, the challenge is that which woman would want to get married to Aravan when they know that the next day they're going to be widowed, कि वो मर जाएगा और फिर वो विडो हो जाएंगे, तो उसके बाद कैसे वो जिएंगे. So what really happens is then, the legend is that Krishna takes the form of Mohini
Okay.
and gets married to Aravan, and then for one night they stay together. Now I don't know. We are not in a culture where we think that gods have sex, right? We don't think our
Right.
parents have sex.
Right. Right.
Forget alone gods, okay? So
Okay.
हम लोग लगता है हम सब भगवान की देन है, हमारे
Hmm.
पेरेंट्स ने तो बच्चे किए नहीं, सेक्स तो किया ही नहीं है, they all are virgins, right? ऐसे लगता है,
Right.
तो भगवान
Right.
के बारे में तो सोचते नहीं है. But what is getting married for a night mean, right?
Hmm.
So
Right.
that is left for people's interpretation. So that is Lord Aravan, and then he gets died. So even in the Kuvagam Fest down south, you have a lot of Aravans, who are people from the transgender community, okay, who get married to Lord Shiva, and after 18 days they live like a. After 18 days they get married, and after 18 days with the Battle of Kurukshetra, they basically uh, um, start living like widows. So they
Okay.
break their bangles, and they of course that's an outdated process. I don't believe that people need to break their bangles or even remove their abushan for that, but as a practice, as a symbolic practice, that's what they do. And so they get married. So there is reference to transgenderism over there. There is reference to uh, sexuality in a lot of other spaces also. There is a lot of
Right.
reference to sexuality. These two are the very prominent things that I know of. But there is a reference to lesbianism, there is a reference to homosexuality. There are a lot of references in Hindu mythology. Um, Even if you go to temples and other things, you see a lot of same-sex love being depicted over there.
Yeah.
So it's not out of the blue that's there. In fact, Hinduism as a culture is very accepting of people of different sex, different sexualities, different genders. There are a lot of references to something like that.
Yeah. Even when we look at Mahabharat, there is a reference to Shikhandi, who was a transgender. He changed his gender, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Yeah. So you may throw some light on that part as well.
Well, I don't know too much about the legend of Shikandi, but there is. I don't suddenly remember now about Shikandi. Do you remember what exactly Shikandi was this thing?
Shikhandi was actually son of. I think she. Okay. Even I don't remember if he was actually a man who converted into woman or a woman who converted into man. But he is either daughter or son of Drupad, and he wanted to take revenge with Bhishma because Bhishma had
Hmm.
insulted Drupad earlier. So he changed his gender
Hmm.
and for a woman, and then
Named himself Amba.
yeah,
So he
yeah,
named himself Amba. I mean, his name was Amba later,
right, right,
and
right, 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 right.
you know,
That's the story.
yeah, yeah.
Uh,
So
Amba
so there's
who was
something to do
abducted.
with Bhishma. Uh,
Yeah, the story goes
yeah,
like
Amba got abducted. So
Amba got abducted by Bhishma, and then Bhishma left her. So she cursed Bhishma that
Yeah.
I will be taking revenge of this. And in next birth, she is born as son, but then he converts himself into a woman, and then Arjun takes help from Shikhandi
Mm.
to kill Bhishma.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the whole thing, because there is so many differences. Also, Ardhanareshwar, which is which is so prominently spoken of. अरे भगवान ने ये नहीं किया, मतलब हम इंसान क्या होते हैं, so
Right.
gods never discriminated between genders. There are references to gods accepting sexuality. I mean, Shiva and Vishnu, if they were to get together as Mohini and Shiva, then what are we to stop two human beings from falling in love with each other? So there is a lot of references to something like that. Sorry that I just didn't remember Shikhandi ka story, but good that you pointed out.
Uh, no, no problem. No problem.
Also,
In
there
fact,
is
in fact,
Ila.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I was just checking out the book Jaya. There is a topic called a wife of Budh.
uh
That is Ila. Yeah. So if you remember, you can also throw
Yeah,
some light on that.
Ila. Yeah. So Ila was basically a king who was cursed uh, by Lord Shiva and Parvati. Both of them had kind of cursed, saying that Ila is going to alternate between a man and a woman. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, all what and also what happens is once the person changes, Ila changes from one gender to the other, switches from one gender to the other. Ila loses complete remembrance of the other gender. Okay, so Ila got married to Buddha. Okay,
Yeah.
and um, you know, so uh, Buddha did know, Buddha, not Buddha, Buddha.
Yeah.
Buddha did know that
Uh,
Ila's gender was
Harish,
alternating.
Harish,
कि वो यहाँ
let me just clarify this for our audience. The Buddha Harish is referring is actually the son of Brahaspati, Jupiter, and the
बुद्ध
planet Budh. Yeah, and Gautam Buddha is a
बुद्ध
different. Gautam Buddha is a
बुद्ध
totally different personality. So Gautam Buddha is not being referred here. The Budh, the son of Jupiter or Brahaspati, is being referred here.
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead,
No,
Harish.
the
Yeah,
god of planet Mercury is what we're. Yeah.
yeah,
So that was one thing where uh, you know uh, the when though Buddha knew exactly that Ila was alternating, Ila was alternating. He doesn't enlighten the male part of Ila and refers to Ila as a woman and lives with Ila as a woman. So there is a reference to homosexuality where there is Ila who's a man who's cursed and who lives like a woman who keeps alternating, but basically Buddha doesn't really doesn't really bother about the fact that Ila is alternating between a man and a woman and lives with him as a man and a wife would. So
yeah,
even when Ila becomes a man, he's living with him as a wife. So that's what the story is. That's what the legend goes. So it simply means homosexuality.
yeah.
That's what the modern reference would be. So yeah,
In in some.
so there are some references where Illa is referred to as as homosexuality. Sometimes it's seen as transgender as well. So
Yeah.
religion never taught us these words. The words like transgender and other things is what came later. Religion left stories and left the interpretation to us. Okay,
Yeah.
and left it on our able hands to interpret it from the lens of science and humanity. Okay, by leaving references over there. So the references were left, and from humanity and from science, how do you refer to it as for the benefit of humankind? So that's I would interpret every religion for that matter, whether it's Islam, whether it's Christianity, whether it's Hinduism, whether it's Buddhism, whether it's Hinduism derived religions like Buddhism, Jainism, and other things. It was all from the purpose कि हमने ये story बनाया. No one really said what really happened. Leave the interpretation to you. Interpret
Okay.
it with your able bodies on the interpretation of science and humanity. Use that to interpret it the way you want. So gods don't give doctrines. Gods only give stories, and we doctrines are what human beings create using those stories,
Using those
examples of those
stories.
stories.
Yeah. In some literature, Buddha is also referred as he had a curse. Before his birth, Jupiter had cursed him that Buddha will be born with both genders. He was male as well as female, and he had an option to switch between male and female whenever he desired. So it is said that Ila being
So
partly male, partly female, and Budh being both male and female. So they had a very happy marriage that way. So, anyways, when
also
yeah,
from a
sorry,
sign.
yeah, you
No,
go
go
ahead,
on.
Harish.
Sorry.
Go on.
So also there is a difference between transgender, and there is a difference between transgender and intersex.
Okay,
Intersex are people who could be born with both sexual organs. Okay,
okay,
both kind of sexual organs. They could be born with a penis, a vagina, and there's some 18, 20 different variations of intersex persons, right?
okay, right,
Whereas transgender persons are persons whose sex and gender don't match each other. They're gender incongruent, like in the
okay,
sense that you're born with a penis, possibly, but but you are a woman because from here you're a woman. Okay,
okay, okay,
so in that case, so that is transgender. So when we interpret religion, also when we interpret these stories, it's important to understand the difference between intersex and transgenderism. So very loosely, if you go to Wikipedia and other places, very loosely everything is referred to as transgender, but there are references to intersex people also in something like this.
okay. So when we, as you rightly mentioned, our epics only provide us stories, and it's up to us to interpret in our own ways. So same thing is can be said about the art forms. We have various art forms like dance, music, sculptures, and everything. So we won't refer to all of them right now, but we will refer to basically the sculptures in temples. So there are many temples, many sculptures that also talk about LGBT issues very openly. They teach us acceptance of everything with an open mind. So maybe if you could throw some light on various sculptures for our viewers.
Well, if you go to Khajuraho, you go to a lot of temples down south also. You will
Okay.
see you because they are so beautifully ornated, and they are beautiful. They look so pretty. You probably get enamored by the beauty of those sculptures, but don't look at the story of those sculptures. Many a times there are many sculptures which are basically two women kissing each other. Many sculptures of a man and man um, having sex with each other. Okay,
Okay.
one legend of it goes that sometimes people who don't accept homosexuality, they'll say कि हाँ इसीलिए तो मंदिर के बाहर रखा है, मंदिर के अंदर नहीं रखा, right? So that's one debate that homophobes have to justify something like that. But then I would say कि okay, मगर ये stories का क्या करें फिर? कि भगवान ऐसे स्टोरीज में आते क्यों हैं? मोहिनी अवतार क्यों हुआ? अर्धनारेश्वर क्यों हुआ? यू नो इला का लेजेंड क्यों हुआ? बुद्ध का स्टोरी क्यों हुआ? अयप्पा का स्टोरी क्यों हुआ? कार्तिकेया का स्टोरी क्यों हुआ? So why do we have these stories then? So that's my counter reaction to something like that. So that's something that we need to realize that the fact that these cultures exist in those temples, they didn't have to show it also, right? I mean, why did they have to show something like that? Some
Right.
people also come with an alternate debate, which many people would be watching this video and coming up with, is also the fact that yes, so then they show bestiality also. So there were some things which is symbolic. Okay,
Right. Right.
bestiality was probably shown to how do you get your animal instincts out. Okay, I'll give you a simple story. When Ram Gopal Verma was making Rangila, and they had this when they had this Hai Rama song being shot. Ram Gopal Verma said in one of his interviews that that he actually wanted both of them to meet as animals. That's why you see Urmila Matondkar uh, and Jackie Shroff like fighting with each other while they're actually having sex, where she's wearing that red
Okay.
gown. They were
Okay.
mating like animals. So probably the interpretation was that you need to meet as animals, get your animal instinct out when you're having sex. So that's possibly why they show bestiality. It might not be an interpretation, but what they're showing about human beings exists in humankind because
Right.
animals don't have a choice. Human beings have a choice.
Right.
Okay. And also if you see most of those images, if you see even of the motifs, it's of adult human beings. So that goes to say that they were so progressive in saying that even when you have animal like instincts, when you're part of the animal kingdom, when you're meeting like how animals mate, do be cognizant of age, be cognizant of consent. Okay, animals can't give consent, so it doesn't justify bestiality in any way. It only says that we all have animal instincts in us, and it's important to get that out sometimes when we are having sex. So our shastras, when we speak about Kama Sutra, we have
Yeah.
so many references. I mean, Kama Sutra is a book of love, and people. It has references to homosexuality. It has references to bisexuality. It has references to transgender ism. It has references to intersex. It has references to everything, and I think it's important to gather that religion. If I'm an atheist. I need to confess that I believe in the good of all religions, but I don't subscribe to any one religion. Okay,
Okay.
I'm a secular atheist, right? So I should,
Secularist in a very
but
true sense.
people who believe religion,
You are secular in a very true
yeah.
sense.
So the thank you so much. Um, so one of the things is, and one of the most secular religions is Hinduism as well, where we are a religion that accepts. So everyone who thinks that secular is secular is somebody who goes against the tenets, the principles of Hinduism itself. Okay, so Hinduism is a religion that accepts people of all religions.
Right.
So that is something that we need to, if people are supporters of Hinduism, need to be proud of that we are a religion that accepts people for who they are, whether it's their gender, is their sexuality, or even their religious practices. So that's something that we need to be proud of. So anyone who tries to bully another person who says that they're secular is going against the principles of their own religion, because it's an all accepting, all loving
Yeah.
religion.
Yeah.
So in fact, we stand as an example for other religions, uh, people who practice Hinduism. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was going to come to the topic of Kama Sutra after we will talk. We would have finished talking of sculptures. So good that you already mentioned about Kama Sutra. You already included that in your words. Uh, Friends, Harish is a equal right activist, as I earlier mentioned, and he fights with. He has currently a court case going on in Supreme Court against the Article 377. He fights for the rights of lesbian, gay, bisexuals, and transgenders, LGBT as we commonly refer. So, Harish, is there any particular message that you want to give to our viewers?
Yeah. Just a small correction though. I'm not fighting the case. I fought the case. I mean, I was one
Okay.
of the people who
Oh,
had
yeah, yeah. Sorry, sorry.
petition. So हो गया है.
Okay,
So in progress नहीं है, हो गया.
okay.
Just one message. I mean, I think um, I think death and disease is a great leveler. It calls for the best of humanity to come out, for all human beings to come out and to speak. We might have a lot of differences in a lot of ways that we think, but I think that even if we disagree on other aspects, I think Corona has been a great leveler, where it's affected the rich and poor, Hindu and Muslim and Christians. It has affected everyone. So I was very pleased to actually see a trend even in Pakistan, which says that Pakistan stands with India in times of Corona. And just as India stood with Pakistan when it came to when Pakistan there was a bomb blast and young children were killed over there. So I
Yeah.
think it's important to rise beyond religion. In fact, extend your religion. I'm not even saying rise beyond religion. Extend the principles of your religion to people who need help. So please join forces. Get onto Twitter. Get onto Facebook. Get onto your neighbor. Uh, See what you can do. Whatever support you can provide. Keep yourself last.
Yeah.
Keep the care that is required first. Keep you can begin your fights later again when things get this thing. You can fight on other issues, but at least let Corona be a great leveler. Let's find beds. Let's find oxygen. Let's find
Harish, I think there is some problem with the network. You have been disconnected again. So friends, that was Harish Iyer for you. There is some technical problem. Probably he has been disconnected. So friends, that was Harish Iyer for you. There is some technical problem and he has been disconnected. He has also to be attending. He will be attending a session in institute in Delhi in around 15 minutes. So probably I'm not sure if he will be getting back here in the chatting. So anyways, let me talk about Harish. Harish is an equal right activist. He engages in advocacy for a number of causes, including promoting the rights of LGBT, promoting the rights of children, women, animals, and he is especially working for survivors of child sexual abuse. In 2018, the National Human Rights Commission appointed him as core group member on LGBTI issues. There are two movies that have been inspired by his life. That one of them is director Onid's movie I Am, and another is Judajit Bakji and Randeep Bhattacharya directed movie Amen. He has been a consultant for movie Shubh Mangal Jada Savdhan. There is a book inspired by his life by Payal Shah Karwa. Yeah, Harish is back here.
hello.
Yeah.
Hi
By the
there.
time you were gone, I was just telling the audience about your life. I was telling introducing you again. Like you were currently right now talking about Corona, how it has been a leveler and how it has brought all of us together. I know that you are constantly working on the field. You are constantly working to provide people with oxygen, provide people with injections. You are using all your resources to reach out to them, to help them in every possible way. Harish, I very clearly remember in 2008 when we had first met in Mumbai. The Mumbai blast, the attack on Taj had just happened, and you were running a kind of a call center at that time to speak to those who were in distress, to speak to those who were very tensed. And I remember you hadn't slept for almost 4 days, 4 nights. You were constantly talking on your phone with all of them. You were constantly trying to speak to them, to console them in every possible way. So from there to 2008 to 2021 you have been always active. I don't know much about your life before 2008, but from 2008 I'm constantly in touch, and I know about how actively you are involved in various causes. So thank you, Harish, for being part of our chat show today. I know you have to attend another program in another 15 minutes. So, and you already are feeling a little low today, feeling some symptoms of COVID. But in spite of all that, you gave us time, you spoke to us. I'm very, very thankful to you, Harish. And friends, if you ever want to reach out to Harish, he is always available on Twitter, always available on Facebook. You can send him a message and he will respond back very quickly. If you have any stories to share, if you come across anyone who is a survivor of a sexual abuse, or if you ever see any sexual abuse going on anywhere, and if you want someone to speak to, if you want to bring it to light, Harish is always the resource person. He is always there to help you out. Harish, I think you are stuck again. Okay, so friends, I think there is again a problem. So this was Harish for you. This was Dinesh Soni. I am Dinesh Soni. I was speaking to Harish Iyer, and his book called Sunrise will be available soon on Amazon's Westland publication. So I hope you watch the movies inspired by his life. If you read the books inspired by his life, I will be sharing some links in the description below. Thank you very much for being with us today. The screen will be stopped soon.